New this evening, an appeals court rules Sidney Torres's trash collection company failed to comply with court orders and now must pay more than $18,000. The decision is the latest development in a legal battle between Torres's company IV Waste and Ramelli Janitorial Service over the Kenner trash contract. A series of Fox 8 investigations delved into Kenner's decision to switch trash collectors in 2020. Those investigations highlighted the circumstances surrounding former Kenner Mayor Ben Zahn's decision to end Ramelli's contract in favor of IV Waste. They also showed IV Waste appeared to overcharge the city of Kenner for trash collection after securing the contract. Ramelli sued, accusing IV Waste of poaching and unfair trade practices. Ramelli then claimed IV failed to turn over pertinent emails during the discovery process. The new appeals court decision affirms a lower court ruling which said IV Waste failed to comply with discovery orders and must pay $18,000 in attorney fees for Ramelli. However, IV Waste says it will fight the decision, issuing a statement that says IV Waste will appeal the Fourth Circuit's ruling to the Louisiana Supreme Court. The judgment against IV Waste was the result of a disagreement between lawyers and misunderstandings about discovery. IV Waste has nothing to hide in this unfounded case filed by a disgruntled competitor. Following our reports, Kenner also filed suit against IV Waste, claiming the company overbilled the city by more than $2 million. That lawsuit is also ongoing.